Hello and welcome back to the Cars.co.za YouTube channel. I'm David Taylor and today is all about the Hilux. Now before I get into this video review, which is a lot more than just a review by the way, because we're filming this a few days before the 9th generation Hilux is revealed, plus we've brought along the Ford Ranger, the Hilux's arch nemesis. Now, before we get stuck in, we have 83,500 vehicles for sale, 11,000 Toyotas, and 2,600 thereabouts Hiluxes for sale. Right, a word from Carl.
Now, choosing between cars can make your head spin faster than a gusheshe at Shai Moto. At Cars.co.za, you can compare cars head to head, weighing up price, specs, features, everything laid out nicely for you.
Okay, before we get into product specifics, let's have a cool history lesson. And you know, there's that retro footage and that crazy historical voice. So back in 1969, the first Toyota Hiluxes went on sale and local manufacturing began in 1970. I'm surprised we're not filming this in black and white. This is quite remarkable. And since those days, the Toyota Hilux has been South Africa's best-selling vehicle. By some margin, I might add. It's not even close. I mean, when you compare light commercials, which is your double cabs and your passenger vehicles, the Hilux is so far ahead, it's mind-blowing. I mean, what a legacy as well. And this is one of the reasons why Toyota has come up with the Legend name. Because 55 years, well, 56 to be correct, who's counting? Legend 55. 55 years of market dominance in South Africa. That is quite some doing. Now, some context. Cars.co.za has been going since 2009, and I've been with the company since 2013, thereabouts, and we've reviewed and assessed pretty much every generation of Hilux and derivative around that point. So here's a cool montage of when we were all younger and slightly thinner and reviewing Hiluxes.
The new Toyota Hilux, which I'm driving right now, is downhill assist control.
This is not your ordinary Hilux.
Most of the work is done to the face of the Hilux decal.
Let's see how it goes.
So what exactly is Toyota South Africa bringing? So Legend 55 is available across 4 derivatives, 2 body styles. You can't get a single cab Legend 55, you can only get an extra cab, and then you could get this, the good old popular double cab bakkie. Essentially and bluntly, Legend 55 is a fully accessorized Hilux. Top spec, it's got Legend 55 badges inside and out. Now if you look at this thing, you get 2 different colors compared to your standard Hilux. This green, it's not my favorite. I can see the appeal of it, but I don't think it's the most photogenic. I prefer the other Legend 55 color. This is this beige sand color. I think that's far more interesting. But you get a roller shutter door, which is a really nice thing to have. The load bay is rubberized. You get these wheels, which I think are straight from the Fortuner, and you get so many badges. So many badges. You also get some armoring underneath the front of the car so that you can protect the vulnerable underbelly, like things like your diffs and so on. And yeah, it really looks the part. Mechanically, the Legend 55 is identical to the rest of the Hilux range. As a reminder, it still has the 2.8 litre GD series turbo diesel. It's a 4-cylinder, 150 kilowatts, 500 newton meters, 6-speed auto, and yes, it has a 4-wheel drive system with a low-range transfer case. Great, we know this, it's a good engine, and I'd like to compliment it for its refinement, because yes, the vehicle is old, and yes, we've seen all of your comments on the channel going, the Hilux is old, it needs to be replaced, it's old. But still, guys, for its age, this is still one of the better riding bakkies. The Hilux also has driving modes as a reminder. I mean, this is nothing new or groundbreaking. Power, eco, and you can just leave it to its own devices. And I must say that once you push the power button, PWR, this thing actually can put on a good turn of pace. And like I've said, guys, this engine, I would say it's one of the more refined diesels in the segments. I mean, some diesels, Isuzu, tend to clatter like a proper diesel engine. And to be fair, Isuzu has a reputation for reliability and longevity, but I would kill for some refinement. Like an engine like this, not only does it deliver 500 Newton meters, great for towing and overtaking performance, but it's not diesel clattery. Like, I'm happy with that. This is good. I also want to touch on the ride quality of the Hilux. Now, generally guys, double cab bakkies with the ladder frame architecture, these things are not great. See, the problem is you've got to have some weight over the rear axle. And right now that load bin has got nothing in it. So if I find some potholes and some bumps, I can feel the vehicle shimmying about. Now, you can try all you like to try dial that out, but the laws of physics still apply. That said, bakkies like the Hilux have done a good job of trying to give you some really decent on-road comfort. Now, is it best in class? I'm gonna say no. And if you go, Dave, what are your favorite, most comfortable bakkies? And I'm gonna say in no particular order. I'm gonna go Ford Ranger, the locally built Nissan Navara, well, Ford Ranger is also locally built, and this, the Hilux. They are the most comfortable bakkies in my opinion. And you can shout at me in the comments, I don't care. I have my favorites. Okay, so that's pretty much the driving aspect of the Legend 55 done and dusted. It's good old Hilux as we've come to know and love. But now I'm going to cut to the all-new 9th generation Hilux. Because guys, we'll be honest, right now we're filming this a few days before the reveal of the new 9th generation Hilux. So right now, as I'm filming this at 3 p.m. on Wednesday the 5th of November, we have not seen the new Hilux, but the video will be live after the Hilux has been revealed. So let's cut to that now. So there you have it. That is the all-new Hilux 9th generation, and that's coming to South Africa at some point in 2026. And we do know the best part is it's going to be made right here in South Africa at Toyota's Durban plant. Very, very cool. Okay, and now it's time, we're going to jump into the Ford Ranger. Now, a little bit of context is that this is our long-term Ford Ranger Tremor. So shout out to Ford, thank you for loading us this vehicle. And this has basically been our crew vehicle for the past couple of months. So all the pretty tracking shots that you've seen on the YouTube channel being filmed of all the cars, they're filmed from that Ford Ranger. Sean uses it to store all of his camera gear, and he's been very kind and generous, and he's letting me take it for a drive. Usually he's very protective of this thing. I don't even think he loves his family as much as he loves this Ford Ranger long-termer. So how do you get a Tremor from a standard Ford Ranger? So basically what Ford does at the factory is they take a standard XLT, rip off the wheels and put on these all-terrain wrapped tires, beautiful things. They raise the ground clearance. I mean, not that a bakkie needed more ground clearance, but the more the merrier. There's also underbody armor protection, and plus the suspension has been overhauled and upgraded with Bilstein off-road specific setup. Properly cool thing. The front track is widened, and you can see that this thing really looks the part. You also get some nice things on the inside, things I really like. Guys, I don't understand why the modern car still has carpets. I mean, we're walking on dirt. Our shoes are naturally dirty things. Why are we still putting carpets in cars? So Ford has gone, you know what, for the Tremor, there's no carpets. There's instead like a vinyl flooring cover, which is far easier to keep clean. And you get these really cool, I don't know if you can see it, it's like a tramp stamp on my lower back. You can see the Tremor seats over there. There, this is my very undignified pose. I'm working it. Now the Tremor pricing is just over 1 million Rand, and if I use our compare tool on Cars.co.za, the price difference between this and the Legend 55 is around 70,000 Rand. And if you're playing in this sort of price bracket, that's not that much more money. And I think you should consider this purely for the looks. I think it looks fantastic. In terms of driving dynamics, Ford has chosen the 2-litre bi-turbo 4-cylinder engine. It makes a little bit more power. There's the Bilstein working. In terms of powertrain, Ford has a 10-speed automatic transmission, and the engine is a 2-liter twin-turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel. It makes a little bit more power than the Hilux. 154 kilowatts, torque is on equal footing, 500 newton meters, and there's no shortage of power. It goes, but I will say that the engine is not quite as refined as the Hilux. There is a bit more diesel clatter that's a little bit more prominent higher up in the rev range. But yeah, I think if you're wanting a double cab bakkie, you'll struggle to beat how good this thing is. We've had it for 6,219 kilometers. I think I've had this for about 9.7 kilometers, and happy to report 10.4 liters per 100. Not bad consumption considering this is a workhorse. And while I'm in the range, I actually want to talk about car sales figures. And yes, I've spoken about how the Hilux is South Africa's best-selling vehicle, but if you break it down by body style, yes, Hilux is the most popular, but if you go down to double cab bakkies, Ford Ranger is the more popular of the two, and obviously the Hilux's extended cab and single cab derivatives help make it more popular. But double cab bakkies, Ford Ranger rules the roost. Into the interior of the Ford Ranger, and guys, I would say that this and the BYD Shark have the best in-class interiors. Modern, feature-rich, easy to understand, and convenience features like a wireless charging pad, USB-A, USB-C. There's even a little slot, and I'm not joking, there's a little slot here that has French fries. So you can go to your favorite fast food outlet, get the little cardboard of French fries, and you can pop it right there to drive. If you do that in my car, I will slap you, because greasy fingers on steering wheels, no, that's a crime. But back to the rest of it. For me, the highlight is this portrait-orientated infotainment system. And unconventionally, it's this way as opposed to landscape, and it just kind of works. We've got wireless Android Auto running, CarPlay is always available, and it's just so easy to use. You can use voice control, and it just feels like an interior from 2025 in comparison to the Hilux. Right, the cabin of the Legend 55, and I'm afraid I can't hide this or be kind. This is an old looking cabin. In comparison to things like the Ranger that we're currently running as a long-termer, and even things like a BYD Shark, this is as basic as it comes. But in Toyota's defense, this is an old product. And when you look at the current crop of all new generation products like the Prado and the all new FJ, those are a big step up. And through the magic of editing, you're now going to see the interior of the all-new Hilux. Bear in mind that when we filmed this, we hadn't yet seen it, so now you're seeing it on your screen, and you can let us know if you think Toyota has done a decent enough job. Back to the Legend 55 though. If you didn't know you were in a Legend 55, there's certainly enough in here to remind you that you're in the vehicle called the Legend 55. The headrests, the badge, the scuff plates, and that's just on the inside. There's so much badging and attention to detail here, it's hard to forget you're in the Legend 55. There are a number of things that have annoyed me about this car. Guys, it's 2025. How do you have a reverse camera with that resolution? I mean, you may as well not bother. And I'm grateful that the car does have rear parking sensors and front parking sensors, but you can't say you're offering a reverse camera with that resolution. I mean, I've seen phones from 2010 that have got better cameras than that. In terms of connectivity, and again, 2025, nearly every person on the planet has a smartphone, and smartphone connectivity and being able to charge your smartphone is important. And having just one USB-A port, not good enough. But take my complaints with a pinch of salt. Legend 55 is the last model we'll see of this generation. And yes, the Legend 55, it may be an older product and the cabin layout may be a little antique, I would call, but the materials used, everything feels long-lasting and durable, which has pretty much been the Toyota way. Alright, time to sum up Legend 55. And this vehicle has given me quite the conundrum, because if you buy a Legend 55 right now, chances are you'll be very happy with your vehicle. However, the timings and what we've just seen with the reveal of the global 9th generation Hilux. This makes me beg the question, do you buy one of these now and then try and hope for a decent trade-in deal on the next generation Hilux? Or do you buy this and then look at the new Hilux for the next couple of years? Because remember that Toyota life cycles work on about a decade, so you have time. But we live in a materialistic society, and there will be certain members of the public who will see the latest, the greatest, the newest, and just dive straight in. Alternatives? Well, where do you even begin? It seems like every brand has a double cab bakkie out there, and 2026 will be a busy year for new vehicle introductions. So I'm torn. I do like the Legend 55. Sure, it has an old interior, and I think things like BYD Shark and Ford Ranger have moved the interior game on significantly. You get into those things, and it feels like a modern car. This doesn't feel modern, which is a pity. And I think from the pictures and the videos that we've seen of the new generation of Hilux, that is a big step up. Let's talk pricing for Legend 55. Now, as I've said, you can get 2 body styles, 4 derivatives, you can get extra cab, there's no single cab, and you probably want this, the double cab. Extra cabs are cool, but double cabs are better for families. Pricing on your screen right now, 728,000 Rand, thereabouts, gets you into this. Double cab Legend 55, this is the one we're in right now, 935,000 Rand. And thrown into the mix is a 3-year, 100,000K warranty. Warranty service plan info is on your screen right now. So as we approach the end of 2025, people are going, Dave, you have R1 million, what would you do? I'm going, right now I'm going to buy a Ford Ranger because I feel like that bakkie does everything for me. We don't know how much the new Hilux is going to cost after all, and as good as competent the Hilux is, the Legend 55 that is, I just feel it's a bit too old, which is a shame. But if you're not pressed for time, then I think wait for the brand new Hilux, and you can bet that we're going to be doing a big bakkie comparison with all your favorite double cabs on the channel in 2026. And on that note, that brings us to the end of the video. Do let me know in the comments what you would do. Legend 55, wait for a new Hilux, or buy something else. Me personally, I'm going to buy the Ranger. I think right now for me, that is the bakkie that ticks the most boxes. And guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been a fun historical video understanding where the Hilux is coming from and where it's going to. And remember, Cars.co.za, we're not just a YouTube channel. 83,000 vehicles for sale. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
We've got Google ratings and reviews right here on Cars.co.za. Don't just trust the sales pitch. Trust the people who've been there, done that, and got the T-cross.